You know those epic StarCraft battles, right? The ones with perfect splits and incredible unit control. We all love watching those. But what if I told you that those flashy moments aren't what actually decides most games? The real winner is usually decided by something, well, something you can't even see. It's an engine, running silently in the background.
Yeah. When you're just starting out, it's totally natural to get drawn into the action. All the explosions, the cool unit abilities, that's micromanagement, or micro. And look, it's definitely important, but focusing only on micro is kind of like being obsessed with a car's fancy paint job while completely ignoring the engine that makes it go.
So let's break this down. StarCraft really has these two layers to it. You've got micro, that's the visible stuff, the highlight reels, the battles. But then you have macro. This is the invisible engine that's building your economy, pumping out units, and basically funding the whole war effort. To put it simply, micro is what you do with your army, but macro is what gives you an army in the first place.
Okay, so what is this macro management thing really? Well, it's not just a single action. Think of it more as a constant, disciplined process. It's the very thing that fuels your entire game.
All right, here's the textbook definition, but the one word I want you to focus on is continuous. Good macro isn't something you just do every now and then. It's the heartbeat of your game. It's this constant rhythm of making workers, building units, and expanding your ability to do more of both.
And this, right here, this is the most practical, no-nonsense goal of good macro. Forget all the complex theories for a second. If you want to know how your macro is doing, just glance up at your resources. You might feel rich and safe with a huge bank, but in StarCraft, that's actually a massive red flag. And here's exactly why. Every single mineral just sitting in your bank is a Marine or a Zealot or a Zergling that you don't have on the battlefield. It's potential that's just sitting there doing nothing. Over a few minutes, that wasted potential adds up to a much smaller army, and a smaller army usually loses. Simple as that.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we keep our bank low and our army big? Well, it really all boils down to mastering three fundamental habits. Let's call them the 3 pillars of macro.
Pillar number 1. This is the big one. It's the easiest thing to say and probably the hardest thing to do when things get crazy. And it is this. You never ever stop making workers. Your command center, your nexus, your hatchery, it should always be producing a worker. The second one finishes, the next one better already be on its way. No excuses.
Now, if you're thinking, come on, what's one missed worker? Well, let me show you how it snowballs. You miss one little production cycle. No big deal, right? But if you do that just a few times over 10 minutes, all of a sudden you're down 5 workers. That means you're missing out on hundreds of minerals you should have collected. And when that huge, game-deciding battle happens, you're short 6 or 8 zealots. They just don't exist, all because of a tiny mistake you made minutes earlier.
All right, on to pillar number 2. This is all about avoiding maybe the single most frustrating mistake in the whole game, the supply block. You know that sound, you must construct additional pylons. By the time you hear that, it's already too late. Your production is ground to a halt. The secret is to build supply before you need it. You have to anticipate, not just react.
So here's a super simple rule of thumb to live by. For Terran and Protoss, the moment you're about 5 supply away from your cap, that's your cue, build a supply depot or a pylon, immediately. For Zerg, you want to do it a little bit earlier, say 4 from the cap, only because overlords take a bit longer to morph. If you can stick to this little buffer rule, you will almost never get supply blocked again.
And that brings us to pillar number 3, which is about fixing a huge mistake a ton of players make. It feels right, doesn't it? You've got a pile of minerals, so you just queue up 5 units in your one gateway. The money is spent, the little number goes up, feels productive. But trust me, it's a trap. You're actually creating a massive bottleneck for your army. And here's a perfect picture of why. On the left, one gateway is chugging along, producing those 5 units one at a time. It's slow, but look at the right. 5 gateways, each making just 1 unit. And bam, all 5 of them pop out at the exact same time. It's the same amount of money, but your army grows incredibly faster. The lesson? More buildings, not longer queues.
Okay, so we've got our 3 pillars, but how do you remember to do all this stuff in the middle of a chaotic game? The answer is to turn these habits into a system, a simple mental checklist that you can run over and over and over. It's called the macro cycle.
And this is it. This is the loop you want to burn into your brain. 1. Glance at your supply. Do I need a pylon? 2. Spend that money. Make units, make workers. 3. Check your bank. Are my resources getting high? Why? That leads right into 4. I need more production buildings, or maybe it's time to expand.
5. Quick look at my army, see what the opponent is up to, and then right back to the top of the list. And repeat.
The whole point of this cycle is to practice it so much that it becomes automatic. You're not even thinking about it anymore. It's just a rhythm you fall into every 15 or 20 seconds, even when you're in the middle of a huge fight. You want to make it a habit, not a conscious thought.
So let's bring this all home. We've defined macro. We've broken it down into these core habits. But why is this invisible engine, as we called it, the real key to winning?
It all comes down to this one simple, brutal truth. You can be a macro god, but all the fancy moves in the world don't matter if your opponent just shows up with way more stuff than you. Good macro is what ensures that you are the one with the bigger army. It's the ultimate trump card, because hey, quantity has a quality all its own.
So the next time you play a game, I want you to ask yourself this question. Are you just watching the battle in front of you, or are you in the background building the victory? It's so easy to get distracted by the fight, but the best players, they know that victory isn't won in that single moment. It's built second by second with the quiet, constant, and disciplined work of macro management.